Take it up. Sorry, can you please take it up?
Hey everyone, I'm Shoaib, and I'm happy to introduce or even reintroduce the Comet to all of you. Most of you would have already seen the Comet in some parts, but I thought I would give you a nice full breakdown of the progress so far, and some insights into a journey too. If you already didn't know, the Comet is our handheld Linux computer. It can do so much in so little of size, and it is modular, which means you can bring your own stuff too. So, first things first, let's talk about some history. We didn't start off thinking the comet would look like this. We just happened to land to it very organically. In 21, when everything was upside down during COVID 19, I had this crazy whim to design a small computer. In 2020, I used to run a tech consulting shop. We did small to big projects. In one of those, we had to deploy a mini computer. And we did everything we could to piece something together. In all, I wanted something that I could use my abilities in building software to do things in the real world. You know, working in the cloud for almost a decade can do this to you. So when we started designing this, it was a moonshot for me. Most of my first year in building this was to prove myself that this can actually be built. I managed to convince an industrial designer who works in Sweden to help me design this. This is what it looked like initially. We took a single board computer, jammed 2 batteries inside, and voila, we had the computer ready. Now we wanted to make it modular. So we designed a carrier board. This carrier board can fit in the add-on boards with a neat hatch. I was very proud of this. If I had gone ahead with this, it would have been bulky, definitely not portable, but we would have launched 3 years ago. And my life would have been so much easier. But no, I was not convinced. I put this random idea in the ring. What if we squeezed in everything and made it into a handheld? Now we are talking. And folks, this is how the Comet was born. Now enough talk. Let's look at the final form. The Comet fits right into your hands. It's slightly bigger than your smartphone, but we have packed a lot of stuff in. It's about 20 grams heavier, but very manageable, and it feels solid in your hands. On the front, there's a 4-inch AMOLED display. It supports 10-finger touch, but I'm not sure how you can manage that on this size. There's also a fingerprint protection layer. It's called oleophobic layer or something. There's a RGB LED on the top and a light sensor, which can automatically adjust the screen brightness. Right below, we have the speaker and 2 microphones in the bottom and a SIM tray on the top. For ports, we have one USB 3.0, one USB 2.0. Both work in host mode because there's a hub inside for all the USBs. There's a mini HDMI port for your extended display. I like how all of them fit together from a dimensional point of view. Yes, I'm quite obsessed about symmetry. And obviously, there is a headphone jack. There's also the Type-C in the bottom, where you can power in. It supports PD in and out, and it is dedicated, which means it can work in OTG mode as well. Could easily build a docking solution for the Comet.
But doesn't do display out because there's no display support in the SoC.
Now, the party piece. There are 40 pogo pins in the bottom, which have all sorts of IOs available. USB 2.0, GPIOs, ADCs, PWM, I2C, UART, SPI, I2S, CAN, and few neat ones like RTC, and even a reset pin, which you can use to power up or power down the Comet with your extension. We have a pin reserved for extension detection. You just need to pull it up. Now, these appear as flat contacts, but they are actually inverted pogo pins inside. These pogo pins are in contact with the main board. Right now, they are glued in, but in the production unit, they'll be molded with the top frame, which means there's no air gap on the top frame for water or dust to slip in. And even if you damage, there's no damage to the main board. Now let's flip it. The back covers are in two. The first half you can open up by your hand, and the second one is screwed in. You'll need a key for it. Now this is an interesting section. It exposes 3 kill switches, one for Wi-Fi, one for camera, and the third for the mic. They simply cut them off on a hardware level. We had a funny story where a hardware engineer sat on an issue where the Wi-Fi couldn't work for whole 3 hours, and in the end realized that it's just the Wi-Fi kill switch is active. We also have a tiny boot mode switch, that lets you switch the boot device to SD card. This is helpful in two ways. If you want to not use the eMMC and rather flash to the SD card, or even switch between them. Also, in case you have a write-heavy application and don't want to wear the eMMC out, you can use SD cards. Now, this is the M.2 slot. It's a B key, and it can do 2030, 2242, and 3042 sizes. A previous version that we showcased at CES could only do 2030. Now, with 3042, we can support modems as well. The PCI bus is 3.0, and we have USB 3.0 and USB 2.0 available on the B key as per the standard pin layout. This means we can support LTE, Wi-Fi, LoRa modules, and their antennas as well. For your LTE modem, we have made provisions for laying down the antenna and will be providing an LTE upgrade kit as well. You can either get the modem from us or bring your own modem. We are currently testing with a Quectel modem and it works just fine. Moving further down, there's a 4000 mAh battery. We use a push connector for better cable management, and the battery can handle a discharge current of almost 4 ampere. You can use this connector on the top. It is the most commonly available 3-pin connector. You can find LiPo batteries off the shelf that will work with this connector. Also, a lot of people are interested in using the Comet without the battery. Just plug in your Type-C charger and you are good. The battery is not needed. Under the battery, you can see the speaker and the haptic motor on the side. For people working on Linux or the bootloader, we also have these 3 pins in the bottom that can give you instant access to debug console. We made it easier for you because we needed it as well. There's also a JTAG hidden under here for folks that need it. Now let's lift this frame out. This is aluminum molded together with plastic. This plays 2 roles. It acts as a roll cage for any impact, makes it more durable, and doubles down as a heat sink. We've added 2 copper plates here to get maximum heat out of the processor and the M.2 module if you have attached something like an NVMe or an LTE modem. This is the PCB. This is a 10-layer design. We have close to 900 components mounted in total on both the sides. Now let's move to the extensions. You just snap them in, and then you remove. Now, let's talk about the keyboard first. On the keyboard, we have actual plastic keys, RGB backlit under the keys. You can program the color as well. The keys are actually removable. We have a touchpad on the top and left and right click buttons. We are still working on the touchpad. We have got it working. We just need to complete its testing. Now let's open up the keyboard. I will first get rid of these screws. It's quite thin, you can just push it open. Here is a trackpad stick to the cover. I'll disconnect it from the PCB. Here are all the keys. The silicon is on the top. The keys are not glued, so you can easily swap them or even 3D print your own keys. Now, to the gamepad. We have this ergonomic layout for using either of these D-pad. You can use it like this, or you can use it like this. On the third extension, this is the IO breakout one. This is the one that I love the most. On the outside, you have a 40-pin connector that exposes the 40 pogo pins in this header. Let me open the top cover. You can see the screws are on the top instead of the bottom compared to the other 2. You can keep the cover open while you work on it and 3D print your own custom top cover once you are done. On the PCB, you have these through holes for prototyping. You can attach your own modules, sensors, MCUs. Just take this off, remove this rear hatch, solder through, and that's it. All these extensions, and of course the Comet itself, are open hardware. I'm looking forward to more community designs over the upcoming months. I'll boot up the Comet. It starts with the lock screen. This is the home screen. App drawer on the right. The widgets on the home screen can be moved around. Here is the notifications panel and the settings drawer. We have few native apps as well: files, settings, music, and notes. Let's go to the settings app. We'll try and change the accent color and the wallpaper. Changing the accent color applies it everywhere, including other apps. And now let's change the wallpaper. The wallpaper applies on the lock screen. All right, now let's bring in the extensions. I will attach the keyboard extension. You can see that the UI detects it automatically. We have an extension detection system in place, and the identification is done using USB. Now let's launch the terminal. I'll run some commands to try it out. We have sticky keys, so you can press the function key or the shift key and press the next key. This is all done via QMK, and you can configure it too. We are not done yet. We have been working with folks from Plasma Mobile. We handed them a unit a week ago. Let me show you how it runs. They simply took our bootloader kernel and ported their image to the Comet. This is how it works. And we have a surprise. This one also has a LTE modem connected. Let's see if I can do a calling demo. Currently, we have a stopgap antenna, but this will be replaced with flex antennas inside. What will you do with your Comet? This is a question that keeps coming up. I personally want to use it as a portable computer that is connected to my Tailscale. I carry my apps with me, I self-host. I even add a LTE modem, use mobile data, or maybe at times I can do calling too. We really want to push the boundary with what great software on a sufficiently good hardware can do. A lot of folks are keen on networking use case, using it as a handheld, security, or a diagnostics tool. We did run Kali Linux a while back on our previous iterations. If you attach a LoRa module on the M.2 and pair it with Meshtastic, this could act as a decentralized communication device. Just a few days back, I was talking to someone on bringing FPGA support on the M.2 slot. I also look at it from an education perspective. Imagine 3D printing your own extension, designing your own PCB, coming up with new designs. These are the things that I couldn't do while growing up. On the commercial side, we think it could work in a lot of use cases. Like industrial automation, you could plug in the AI accelerator and get object detection working. We also showed the robotic operating system working on the device at an event last year. Over the past year, we've had more than 1,500 applications to our pilot program. I'm excited to see what people will build with their Comet. This is just the beginning. There is so much to do. We are going to put a lot of work into building the ecosystem around Comet. If you look at how personal computing is today, we buy the hardware, but we don't really own it. With the Comet, we want to help change that. You are in full control. You decide what you want to run on it, how you want to use it. Yes, the Comet is not for everyone. But for folks like me, who have grown up working with computers, learning to build new things, you will feel right at home. Thank you so much for watching.